Hello, welcome. I hope you guys are having a good day. Today, we're going to be starting something really special. I'm going to be doing my Hades 2 fresh file to end credits Deathless Let's Play. So, the reason that we're doing this is I wanted to experience the story since they changed the ending post-release. I never got to experience the new ending because I played in early access and finished the story quite soon after the 1.0 release. And I never went back to experience the story again until now. So we're going to be doing that together, but I decided to put a little twist on it and see what would happen if we did the Let's Play completely deathless. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to be starting on a new fresh file, deleting, for example, like this last one here, or oops, that didn't work. Deleting like this one here and starting on an empty slave slot, and then going from there all the way to the end credits without ever dying. Now there's a bit of an asterisk there, because the game forces you to die on the surface twice, so that you can gather materials for an incantation that then allows you to stay on the surface without dying. So besides those two forced deaths that the game requires you to do, and I have no information that tells me you could do it in less than 2 nights. I certainly have not been able to get the requisite materials in just 1 night. So yeah, besides those 2 forced deaths, we're not going to be restarting, we're not going to be save stating or anything like that, and just going right from a fresh file to the end credits. This video is quite long, and I'm not going to be able to do the run in one sitting. In fact, you can see here that this second save is actually the complete finished Let's Play. I've done the challenge, and I didn't record it all in one run because it's roughly 15 hours of raw footage, and I needed to go to work, go eat, go to the bathroom, so it was recorded split along 5 kind of 3-ish hour sessions. Because of that, I don't have one continuous session of recording, and of course I'm going to be editing this video so that it's more watchable, and therefore I can't like prove to you that I wasn't save stating in between cuts, you know, in order to like cheese the system and die off camera and restart or whatever. I'm just telling you I didn't do that, and hopefully you believe me. I will be ending the runs whenever I save in areas where it's impossible for me to use the in-game undo mechanic, because it would have just undone the successful night, and I can't start a run in between like where the mirror is and stuff. So at least you know I'm not using the in-game undo mechanic, but of course I could be save stating. I'm just promising you guys I'm not doing that. So this is a complete fresh file to end credits deathless challenge, and because it's like a let's play, I'm not going to be speedrunning. I'm going to be letting a lot of the story dialogue play out, even some of the side dialogue, so that we can kind of experience the story together. However, unfortunately, I did do a lot of attempts at this and eventually got bored of listening to all the same dialogue for the first couple of nights. So for the first night especially, I'm going to be skipping the dialogue from all the bosses, and even on the second and third nights, a lot of them I'm skipping the dialogue, especially the ones that aren't really important to the story, they're just like kind of flavorful. Those we won't be listening to. I thought about editing them in, but honestly it felt a little bit jarring to do that, so you just will have to play the game yourself to see those lines if you really want to. But all of the major important plot points I will be letting play out, especially all the mirror scenes with Zagreus, most of the conversations with Kronos after like night 2, and so on. The Hecate things in between that are important, I let them play out. And of course the cutscenes that are special that you get triggered between runs. All right, well, I hope you guys enjoy this. I think it'll be a lot of fun, and we can experience together what it would be like to start playing Hades and just go all the way to the end credits without ever losing a run. Yeah, let's get into it, and I hope you guys have a wonderful day.
Few tales are told of Hades, whose reign as grim lord of the dead came to a sudden end when all at once his past caught up with him. But gods do not go quietly, and history repeats. So this tale was only a matter of time.
Alright, well, here's the first run. The first run is definitely the hardest. We have no meta progression, so no death defiances, no extra damage from origination, right? None of the arcanas, basically. None of the keepsakes, a limited boon pool, and none of the like incantations that give you things in between biomes. We don't get money from pots, so on and so on. In this first run, or in this first room rather, we always get Apollo, and the choice is always between Apollo's attack, his gain, and his rush. I generally take the attack, and that's what I did here, mostly because it's large. It makes your attack larger, which helps with room clear, but mostly because the rush, which I experimented a lot with, stops you from getting Breaker Rush, which is by far the most DPS you can have in a fresh file, besides duo boons. It's the highest DPS core boon possible. And the gain blocks you from ever being able to get Aphrodite's gain, which is the kind of the ideal. So the attack, even though it's kind of suboptimal, we would rather have almost any other attack, to be completely honest. The loss of the rush and the gain slots is actually worse in my opinion. Now, I have heard people on the Discord say that if you're doing something that's not time-based, maybe it's actually best to take the rush, since Breaker Rush is not necessary if you're not trying to get a speedrun, which I'm not. So maybe I should have been taking the rush, I'm not sure. Here we get really lucky and see Poseidon on the first mini-boss storm, which guarantees us a rare Poseidon boon, and we get exactly what we want, which is Buried Treasure. Rare Buried Treasure will make it so that we get basically twice as many meta progression materials as possible, enabling our next few runs to be even better and to progress even faster than normal. The other option there was Breaker Rush, which I did briefly consider, though you didn't see me pause very long, but because Breaker Rush is, like I said, the best DPS thing you can do. However, because we are doing the fresh file to end credits, what we really care about most is meta progression material, and that's why we would prioritize Buried Treasure and even Sea Star, which we didn't see there. Here we just we take the shop, and unfortunately we're not open to Beach Ball because we didn't take Breaker Rush, so every Apollo boon we see here is a little suboptimal until we can get another Poseidon boon and get Poseidon on any of our other core slots in order to enable Beach Ball. So really we're looking for Poseidon. We're able to get a special from Apollo, which is not bad, and does help out with some damage. Here we get more Ash, 9 per room because of the Buried Treasure, which is amazing. And you can see here in these early rooms, it's really about using trees to clear the rooms quickly and kind of having them group up, using some Omega attacks when you see people lined up. Overall, these rooms are fairly simple, and you just kind of have to not let yourself stand still for too long next to enemies, otherwise you'll get hit by them, but that's about it. You're going to see me continuously taking Ash, because the materials that we need for getting everything to progress is, first of all, things like moly, the flowers that you see on the ground, flowers and other like plants that we see around. Those are for incantations, and those will be very important for the story. But the 3 things that will make us the most strong is if we can get Ash, Psyche, or Bones. Here we get lucky with a Poseidon boon, and we're looking for any core boon, but we get none of them. Those were 3 horrible choices. Sorry, we do get one, which is the gain, and which is the worst one to get. We would have much rather have had the cast or the Breaker Rush. Anyway, we're already live to Beach Ball because of the gain, so that's at least good. But as I was saying, the progression materials we care about most are Bones, Ash, and Psyche. But we can't use Bones until we get the Broker after night 3. And Psyche doesn't show up on doors. So what we're going to be taking for all the doors that have progression materials is Ash, the little silvery wisp-looking thing. And that's going to let us open up our Arcana cards and start using those to power ourselves up. The Psyche allows us to use more Arcana cards versus Grasp, and the bones later we can trade into the broker for various different things that we will need. We're going to prioritize the ash until after night 3, at which point we're going to start transitioning to taking more bones, because we're going to need to use the bones to get more psyche and moon dust. This fight, you just kind of... I'm about to get hit by the curse here, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I missed that dodge, and that's unfortunate. That usually doesn't happen, but I'm able to get a cheeky little kill here with the tree, and then I go back and kill this tree for fun. This fight, besides this little section here where you might get hexed, you really just want to hug Hecate. She telegraphs her attacks pretty heavily, and when she does her little circle attack, you just kind of move away, wait for it to come out, and then dash in and hit her, and then dash out, as you'll see me do here. So, one thing that we're going to have to worry about here is Eris. So you're going to see me taking damage on purpose. I just took 12 there. I actually tried to take 24 but missed, so I have to wait a little bit and take the other 12. The reason I'm doing that is because I need to be at 30% of my max HP, which at this moment I think is 16 or less, because we need to be at less than 50% or 50% or less after the fountain, and the fountain heals you for 20%, because if you're more than that, if I was at 27 here, for example, we would get Eris. Eris shows up between biomes if you have a Death Defiance or more than 50% HP, and curses you. This curse is meant to stop early progression because the developers want you to hear some dialogue, which we will be missing since we don't actually we don't die, and therefore the dialogue progression in our Let's Play here is going to be highly irregular. And in order to try to prevent that, the devs put Eris in, and she curses you and makes you take progressively more damage. It starts with like 20 or 25%, I think, and then goes up by 5% per encounter, so that if you get her as early as possible, you end up taking double damage or more in the Chronos fight. In order to avoid that, we will be keeping ourselves at 30% health or less after each boss until Cerberus, at which point we will, on purpose, take Eris after Cerberus, because when Eris shows up, she gives you meta progression materials, and quite a lot of them. Almost a full run's worth, or a little more than half a run's worth, I would say, like a good run. If she shows, depending on where she shows up, she gives you different materials. So if you get her as early as possible after the first mini-bot, or after Hecate, you get Ash. The next area you would get Psyche, and then the last area you get Bones. We are going to get the Bones, even though we can't use them until after run 3, mostly because it just is better to make the first run easier since it's already the hardest run, rather than making the second and third runs easier, which are already easier. Here you saw me open the door. I'm fishing for Poseidon boons, so maybe there was one back there. There wasn't, so I just went to the shop. We're looking for Beach Ball from Apollo. We don't get it, and that's a little unfortunate. You saw me, I didn't talk about it because I was talking about Eris, but before, you saw me take a boon from Demeter. Seeing Demeter this early is a little unfortunate because it is, first of all, adding another god to our pool before we have Beach Ball, and also Demeter herself doesn't have like the greatest boons, to be honest. We do get kind of a mediocre one in Steady Growth. There was also the cast offered, and honestly that's probably what you should take, but I kind of like Steady Growth, and it's early enough that I think, you know, it probably could do something good. Here we have our mini-boss in this area, and it's Apollo, which is great because that's a higher chance of the duo, which we do not get. And here I take Dazzling Display, but that's a mistake. I should have taken Light Smite. I didn't because Light Smite requires you to get hit, and I don't want to get hit. And I didn't take Blinding Rush because I'm still holding out to try to get Breaker Rush. So I took the Dazzling Display, but the Dazzling Display is pretty useless, to be honest, and probably having the Revenge boon, as bad as it is, would have done something rather than the nothing that this Dazzling Display is essentially doing. We keep on taking Ash. I contemplate taking the health here, but decide that I'm good and I don't really need it. This room is nice because everyone kind of groups up and you're able to take them out pretty quickly and with minimal damage. Just try not to get hit like I did there. by standing around for a little bit too long. Of course, the spinners are, pretty simple, just wait until they spin around. Here we have a choice between Afro and the Heart, and I end up taking the Heart, even though I would like Afro. Afro has the ability, there's the potential of getting the Afro Poseidon duo boon if I got Afro Dash, for example, which is a great duo boon. I decide that it's not worth diluting my god pool. I still don't have Beach Ball. I would rather see as much Poseidon and Apollo as possible. And therefore, taking an Afro and adding another god into my pool is just probably not worth it. So I go with the Heart. And Hearts are nice because we are going to be taking a bit of an Eris curse, right? Eris in the last biome still will make the Kronos fight harder by making him do like 50% extra damage, 50 or 55, depending on how many rooms we end up taking. Here we take the free Poseidon boon. That's exactly what we're looking for. We don't get Beach Ball, but we get the rare Breaker Rush, which is exactly what I've been holding out for, and a great find right before this boss. Unfortunately, I'm going to be skipping most of the dialogue in the first run. I think I talked about this in the intro, mostly because I've heard it so many times and I got bored of just waiting around for the dialogue to end after restarting over and over and over. So unfortunately, in the first run, really the first 3 runs, I'm kind of loose with letting the dialogue play out. But after that, we're going to start seeing me allow them to speak and hear what they say. And the dialogue in this game is pretty fun. Here I'm playing pretty scared because I'm, low on health. You saw me take a damage from that beam there on accident. Just trying to dash through it. So I basically don't have any leeway anymore and need to dodge every attack from now on, which I think I successfully do. But that being said, this is all fine because we were going to have to take damage on purpose anyway. We needed to be under 24 is the cutoff, because the fountain will heal us for 16, which is 20% of 80. And of course 24 plus 16 is 40, which is what we need to be under. Here we're going to be at comfortably less than that. Maybe a little too comfortably, but The feature on the first fresh file is always going to be the guitarist, Jetty. I would say probably the most difficult feature. It's hard to say, but I find that Scylla and Roxy's features are kind of easier to dodge. I don't know. They're all kind of similar, to be honest. The only problem with the Jetty feature is just because she moves around so much, whereas the other ones are easier to dodge since they're stationary. We'll just finish up the fight, and that's Oceanus. On to the fields.
Oh, thank the gods.
We get our little pearl, which we'll have more than enough of, and we will not be using most of these rewards enough. These pearls and the whatever you get from Hecate, I forget, the torches and stuff like that. You really only need 3 or 4 of each, and by the end of this we'll have way more than that.
Don't lose your way here, Mel.
Alright, we're in the Fields of Morning. This is almost certainly the most annoying part of a fresh file run, and not just the fresh file, but the first few files, because we don't have the incantation yet to awaken the Boughs of Morning. The boughs being the little tree that tells you where everything is. So because we don't have that, we have to bumble around and try to find where everything is, and to be honest, I do not have the various room layouts memorized, and therefore it takes me a while to find everything. We get lucky there, finding a nectar. You're not guaranteed to get a nectar in your fresh file, and I would say probably 50% of the time you don't get one, which doesn't let you have a keepsake until run 3. But now that we have this nectar, we'll have a keepsake starting run 2, which will make it much more worthwhile to get the Death Arcana, and then we can get the Skelly Tooth as our keepsake, and have 2 extra lives starting with the second run. This is good because it allows us to take Eris sooner. Now, it's not completely ideal because what we really want is to take Eris in the second zone and get Psyche, since Psyche is now going to be what's our biggest bottleneck. Instead, we're going to have to take her in the first zone and get her Ash reward, because Death Defiances will always trigger Eris to show up, and it's not worth it to lose the 2 Death Defiances and hope to refill them. You're not guaranteed to refill them. And of course, having Eris in the first biome does make her curse the most potent possible, and we're going to be taking double damage, or even slightly more than double damage from Kronos, starting from Run 2. Even so, Run 2 is certainly easier than Run 1, even if we have full Eris Curse Run 2 and only half Eris Curse in Run 1, because we will still get access to hammers, we won't be forced to take the crappy Apollo boons at the beginning. Of course, the 2 Death Defiances are a huge help, essentially tripling your health. Not really, more like doubling your health, because the Death Defiances don't make you go back to full health. So. But still. What they do is protect you from insta-kill moves, and I've got to say, probably the thing I die to the most now is just randomly getting like stuck in a Tempai bubble in the Kronos fight and getting insta-killed by one of his insta-kill moves or something. Or just like, sometimes I just try to hug Kronos and dodge the insta-kill, and of course sometimes I'll mistime the dodge and there goes a run. I stopped doing that, and I think in this run you'll see that I actually play Kronos a little bit scared, like I don't get all up in his face, mostly because I recently had some bad experiences where I was like, all up in his face and had a great run and it just randomly died. This run I really wanted to succeed at the time because I had the early buried treasure. I have so much meta progression material, way more than an average run, and so I wanted to win at all costs. Here, the Lamia is quite annoying, I would say. The problem is with Breaker Rush, I push her around way too much, and I don't have any freeze effects to keep her in place, so you just kind of have to keep like running after her. But it's fine because as a reward, we finally get Beach Ball, the best duo boon in Fresh File for sure, triple S tier, like nothing comes close. Just 300 flat damage, and it's ranged. You can just keep throwing it from range. Makes the Kronos fight way easier for sure, and room clear too. Just in general, makes rooms easier. Here we're going to take the right door because we want mostly the heart and also the Apollo boon. We would like Perfect Image, we would like Backburner, and the Apollo Demeter duo boon is also pretty great. So all of those are pretty great offerings. We find some bones. Always like getting the micro rewards in the corner. We would prefer it to be ash and not bones, but bones are still good. Those are going to come in really well in handy, and I can't speak. Those will come in handy after Night 3. We get Backburner. That's great, and Backburner is really good against Kronos. It's pretty easy to stay behind him, and it's amazing in the Serb fight. Serb, well, we'll talk about Serb when we get to him. Here, the little plant mini-boss just becomes a regular enemy, and it's quite annoying, especially when you have evades, as we'll see in our second run. Sometimes you just get hit by like 6 needles, and whoop, there goes 12% of your evades. Yeah, as you can see, it takes a bit of time to go around and try to find where all the rewards are when you don't have the Bells of Morning. So that's certainly one of the incantations we're most excited to get. Unfortunately, it'll be a little bit before we can actually get it. This darkness mechanic is... I hate it. Look, it's not that bad, and you just kind of have to be careful, but sometimes you'll just walk into the cloud and get hit by something there was no way for you to react to. Here I take the heart. Not sure why. I had enough money for a boon, maybe I thought that the remaining boons were just not worth it, and the heart is probably... I guess what it is I was like around 100 life, and with the 50% Eris Curse, I would like to be over at 100, so I probably just wanted to guarantee myself at being over 100 life. Because some of Kronos' attacks will do like 60 damage, so we want to be able to take one or two of them, you know, without dying. There you can see that the Infernal Beast's suck attack took off my my barrier that I had from the Demeter boon. Oh, what is it called? Well, whatever it's called, the one that gives you one barrier per room. And in general, that's true of like all suck attacks. For example, the little guys that suck in the Fields of Mourning will strip Evade away from you, if you didn't know. So you have to make sure that, and it'll take a lot of them off of you like really quickly. So you have to watch out for those guys when you have Evade or anything like that. Cerberus in general is like quite an easy fight. I would say it's easier than the Sirens. You just kind of stay behind him and hit him in the back while he like stands around and does nothing. Quite straightforward. Alright, cool. There's the Serb fight. And we're on to Tartarus, the last leg of our first journey. I want to make sure that we get all the meta progression materials from this area. I think I left one, but that's okay. The myrtle that you get from there, usually I don't find that I'm ever, like, I never don't have enough myrtle. So if you miss a couple, that's not a big deal. Moly, on the other hand, which is the little flower you get from the first zone, from, what is the first zone called? I actually forget. The Crossroads? The one you get from the first zone, that's the one that is most important. Here we get, finally, our Curse of Eris, because we intentionally did not take damage. And so we are now taking 25% more damage, and it'll be plus 5% for each room that we take. So we're going to take the minimal amount of rooms possible, unless we see certain duo boons. Like if I see Poseidon on the door, I will take that. And maybe also Demeter, because natural selection is on offer. I actually don't remember exactly, but yeah, barring those two things, we will not take any extra doors. I will say that this run, I had quite an idyllic build. I mean, I got the Beach Ball, I got the rare Breaker Rush. The only thing we're missing here is it would have been nice to have like a freeze on our cast instead of Apollo, or on our special instead of Apollo. And also, it would have been nice to have Afro core boons, especially Aphrodite's Gain, the magic regeneration boon that makes everything nearby weak. And also, if possible, Aphrodite on the special, which would be the best possible special to get. Because that would open us up to the Poseidon-Aphrodite duo boon, which is by far the second best duo boon, I think, for Fresh File, behind Beach Ball. Quite a bit behind Beach Ball. But still, it makes you take way less damage, especially if you have the Gain and the Island Getaway, then you take like 40% less damage, and then there's even a boon that'll bump that up to like 50 or something. That'll completely negate the Eris Curse if you take it in Tartarus. And also, it makes your Afro boons work from far away. So if you had Afro on your special and Island Getaway, your special now becomes a long range, 150% extra damage or whatever. Really great. Fortunately, we didn't get any of those. We have our kind of more crappy Apollo boons instead. But other than that, our build is quite good. Afro also gives you Life Affirmation, which gives you more health, and that's always great. You know, having lots of health is fun, and also makes the run easier. And Sweet Surrender, which is just a huge flat damage bonus if you can get it. If you have some source of applying weak. Like I said, the Gain is the best, and especially if you have the Gain and Island Getaway, then everything's always weak. which means that it's just a flat damage boost of like 20%, which is crazy. That's almost an origination, which we don't currently have. Origination is the arcana we are going to beeline for, but we're not going to be able to beeline for it right now. Instead, we're going to be going, well, when we get to it, you'll see, but we're going to be going for death. Death and all the things that are in its path.
Where to?
Here we don't take any extra doors.
Gold race.
The little bags are fun. Pretty easy to deal with. You just kind of get behind them once they start showing their beam. Their beam doesn't come out for a few seconds after you see it, so avoiding it is fairly telegraphed. The real problem in these rooms are these numbskulls, or whatever they're called, the little teleporting skulls. They keep teleporting around and makes it hard to kill them. These big guys are, if they hit you, they hurt. But the thing is that they're quite slow, and also they're great because they have a huge spawn weight, which means that when you see them, that means like 6 other smaller enemies didn't spawn, and those ones are much more annoying to get. Here we see Afro on the door. I don't think I should have taken this, but I took it because I'm hoping for like spiritual affirmation, or actually what I was really hoping for in my mind was that somehow this would give me like a replacement boon for either my special or especially for my game. I don't know if that's even possible actually. I haven't seen in Fresh File a replacement boon show up. I don't know if I have or not. I'm not sure if that's something you can get on the first night, or if replacement boons only show up after the second or third night or something. I'll have to look that up at some point. Anyway, here we get, I think, spiritual affirmation, indeed, and that is what we'll take. Shameless Attitude was also a good consideration, just a flat 7% damage bonus, 14% as long as you're above a certain health mark. But the extra health is just nice. Make sure that we don't die. We have a lot of meta progression materials. We don't want to die. There, the Secret Crush is great, especially as Epic. That gives us a lot of extra damage on our percent-based attack from Apollo. And we got Natural Selection, so all of our boons are upgraded by like 3 palms, which is great. Wait, did we get Natural Selection? Maybe I'm wrong there. We got something there.
How about...
No, we didn't get Natural Selection there. Not sure why I paused there. Probably was an accident.
Kronos!
A visitor at this hour? Pray, who might you be, my girl? It is not often that I entertain of late. Perhaps after this house becomes a little more presentable. Though for the moment, you must pardon all the dust. We have been renovating around here.
Get up.
Ah,
Hear me.
Alright, I'll let you guys hear that little dialogue there because it's unique to the... If you see... It triggers if you see Kronos before you talk to him in between biomes, which I think happens after like run 3. So if you see him in the first 2 runs, or maybe even in the first 3 runs, you'll get that dialogue. Of course, meaning you always get it if you see him on the first run as well. There I get hit by the scythe, and you know, I still don't understand the scythe attack that well, to be honest. I feel like from his animation, I felt like that would go behind him, because that is where I was standing, was slightly behind him, so I dodged away from him in the opposite direction. But I think what happens is that it actually just tracks you, and it doesn't matter what his animation looks like, it will just come out in the way that tracks you in like the moment that it leaves his scythe or something. So I probably just dodged a little too early, actually, is what happened. Should have probably waited like a half a second more and then dodged. Wouldn't have been hit by that. Otherwise, we're doing pretty well. We just kind of hug Kronos, try to get as many Breaker Rush procs as we can, although you'll see sometimes I start just attacking from range like this, because I'm afraid of him dashing into me. I'll try to take as little damage as possible in the first phase, because the second phase is much more treacherous. we wouldn't want to waste all of our HP on the first one. There you can dash into him, but again, like, I'm a little unsure about when the scythe starts tracking you, so I didn't want to dash into him and then just get hit by the scythe. Yeah. I feel like I fought Kronos a billion times, but somehow I still don't completely understand his scythe mechanics, to be honest. That's something I'll have to work on. Alright, on to phase 2. We don't have Frenzy, which means that this little first start section, you actually have a lot of time to attack him. And in fact, I should have probably gotten a couple more breaker rushes in before I went to the safe spot. But I went there quickly because, like I said, I'm playing a little scared. This is an amazing start to the series if I can start it off with this buried treasure. And so I just really didn't want to die. Yeah, you can see here Breaker Rush gives you a lot of ranged capability. You can also see that if you do a little too much damage, you'll have to deal with like multiple mechanics at once. You can see, you saw there where it was like there was the clock ticking mechanic, which just began to, like, it started doing the clock ticking, and then I did a bit too much damage to him and he also started doing the insta-kill mechanic. So I had to kind of deal with both of them at once. Kind of similar situation when the 2 rings arrive and you damage him too much while the 2 rings are happening. He might start summoning like his little temporal time stop balls, and then you'll have to like dodge those and also the rings at the same time, which can be very annoying and quite deadly. So a little trick when he summons these, by the way, is you can stand, I get hit because I go near him too quickly, but you can stand kind of in the middle between the longest arc of his scythe and where he is, and you just kind of stand there, and the scythe will arc around you. It won't be able to reach that little middle area. Alright, so we get him. This has been a great start. We have so many meta progression materials.
How?
You'll get no answers from me, and no mercy either. Now die already, and I'll collect the ichor from your veins, or whatever flows through them.
What is death to the deathless? A mere nuisance. This house is mine. Once I am gone, you shall be cast away.
I expect so. And you'll be remade and back on the throne before I can return. But I shall return, and I'll slay you again and again and again if I must.
Even if, in so doing, it meant that you would never see your dear old family again. Because the mercy I have shown to them thus far is something I may have to reevaluate.
Our family. And what do I care? I don't even know them. But I do know you will be dead here in another moment. Any last words?
For you, my girl, a mere reminder. Nothing more. Time cannot be stopped.
Alright. There was our first run. Let's look at our little win screen. Victory. Buried treasure is the big thing here. We had some perfect image, secret crush, those were all nice, but beach ball was really the biggest DPS. And we had, I don't mouse over Eris Curse, I guess, in this video, but I'm pretty sure it was at 55%, given the amount of rooms we take. If you take 1 extra room, it'll be 55. If you just beeline for Kronos, it would be 50. Alright, here I'm just going to let the cutscenes play out. And I'll start talking again once we're back to the crossroads.
Subconscious, I descend. A connection. Step 1. And now step 2. Night and darkness. Guide me to my blood beyond the grasp of time. The mists of memory.
Oh, stay down, blast you. I've tried water, oil, nectar, ambrosia, but no. Wait, what? Is my hair getting lighter and my features getting fairer, or did I consume something that really isn't sitting well?
Prince Zagreus, please listen to my voice. Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Definitely something I consumed then. Or else... Oh, this is just a dream. Hypnos has been growing rather bold with these. Is that you in there, mate?
No, Look, yes, technically this is a dream, but it's the only way I could reach out to you, across the span of time. Now please, our family is in danger, and I need your aid.
All right, slow down. It's fortunate I rather like such realistic dreams. And what do you mean, our family? Who are you? Probably one of Mother's many cousins. Wouldn't explain the eyes, though, or my father's sigil on your outfit.
Let me speak. Look, this is going to be difficult for you to accept, but I'm Melinoi, your sister. From another time, a future time not all that distant from your own.
See, that was going to be my next guess. Well, dream sister from a future time. I would never want to snap awake before hearing you out, so what's the situation? What do you want me to do?
I want you to find our grandfather Kronos and destroy him. Because there's only so much I can do here myself. He's taken over your entire house, imprisoned our father, mother, you, everybody. And now he threatens Olympus. All as vengeance for what the gods once did.
Right. When you say what the gods once did, you mean the part where they got rid of Kronos permanently long before I was ever born? Or you, for that matter. But in the not all that distant future, he returns and single-handedly takes over everything.
Yes, please believe me. I myself was very little when the Titan struck, and I've been training all my life in preparation for this very moment. But I cannot stop Kronos on my own. Will you aid me?
I'm guessing not, since this is a dream and I'll likely just forget about it as soon as I wake up. Also, you look and sound just like a figment of my imagination would probably look and sound. Can you prove anything you've said?
You won't forget me when you wake, I promise you. As for the proof you seek, you must know of Hecate, our mother's handmaiden. She trained me for this. Seek her and tell her what I've said, but no one else.
Sister, I'm afraid our mother has no such handmaiden. Although, in some strange way, you mentioning a name I've never heard is better proof than anything you've said to me thus far. What's the matter?
It's Kronos. I've incapacitated him, but he'll return, just as he will eventually in your own time. I need to go. Before he finds me here, I need to go.
But you just got here. Look, Melinoi, was it? Will I ever see you again, or was this more of a one-off?
I found you across dreams and time, brother. I'll stop at nothing to do it again. Until then, please, let this remain a secret between us.
Great, I can't even tell Hypnos. Well, suit yourself. See you another day, sister. Or night.
Till then, from mists of memory, return to Shadow now. Oh. Back already.
All right. So,
All right.
we've just talked to Zagreus. We've gotten back. I'm going to confide in the Froggy because we actually get we get something from the Fated List. I forget what it is. I think it's
Believe it anyhow.
nectars for confiding in Froggy a few times. Freenos.
Dora.
We're not going to talk to Dora for a while. I will brood though.
Anyway, Kronos threatened that you'd never see your family again, the wretch. But you have.
Indeed we have, and we shall. Again, a different voice line that you would normally get. Normally you get the one where it's like, think about all what he's taken away from you. But because we've already seen Zag, we get that one.
Now tell me everything. You found your mark. What then?
I reached the edge of Tartarus and made my way into the house, just as we planned. Kronos was there, on my father's throne. We clashed. He lost. But I know he isn't gone, and I was unable to linger there for long.
I trust you.
Yeah, I skip some of that, but she just tells you to keep going, you know?
Come here to glow. I
Won't talk to Nemesis or Odysseus for a bit.
Then you can do the
They just Odysseus congratulates me, and Nemesis is mad that I did well.
We'll find a
We don't like Nemesis. I prefer Eris to Nemesis, to be honest, even though she curses me. She gives me the juicy meta progression materials, and that's more than worth it. Really is a blessing, to be honest. Alright, here we're going to unlock what is the base of our runs for the next few ones until we can get more Psyche. And that's going to be these 5.
Death.
These 4, and then also the Furies. That's an even 10 grasp. It's more than you can usually unlock. This is only because we had the buried treasure that we can do this. And I'm going to save this Ash, I think, because the next things I want to unlock are the ones that let us roll doors. But that we're not going to be able to use until we have more Psyche. And the Psyche we're going to be able to just get starting this run because we can start running into...
Commander.
oh my goodness, I'm blanking. Narcissus, who can give us Psyche. Although, okay, so the thing about Narcissus is that he can give you Psyche, but he can also give you other things, and actually, what he gives you is not equivalent. If he offers you Ash, it's actually worth more than the Psyche in Bones. Like, the Psyche and the Bones are actually worth less than the Ash by the amount that they give you. So we might still take... I think we end up actually taking Ash over Psyche because of that. But we will soon start prioritizing Psyche once we're able to unlock enough of the cards that we really want to have active. We also are beelining for Origination as soon as possible. That's the other thing that we're trying to get. Alright, here we just take Smoldering because the cast is going to be the highest DPS offering. We don't want her on our special because it just doesn't hit enough for it to warrant Scorch. We would rather have Scorch on her attack. That would have been the best thing to get, but, you know, it wasn't offered, so...
Who else?
Alright, here I think we're going to take the heart, just because the heart is worth more than the gold. The gold, that's 100 gold versus the heart is 125 at the shops, right? So, or 120, something like that. So usually you would want to take the heart over the gold unless you are fishing for something in the shop. And we get really lucky with a early Poseidon door. Again, we're looking for buried treasure, we're looking for Sea Star, and we're looking for Breaker Rush or Wave Strike. Wave Strike and Breaker Rush are the highest DPS options, but of course we're going to prioritize the meta progression materials. We get Wave Strike and Breaker Rush, and I think I don't know which one I take. Wave Strike because it's rare. I think Breaker Rush might still be better. It's hard to say what's better between those two, actually. The Wave Strike is like almost 100% extra damage. You get 25 on top of your base 30. So it's quite a bit better than the Apollo attack that we had before. And it's also much more of a crowd control tool. Okay, we take Death Warrant, just I think that's the most likely to do the most damage. And we avoid the mid shop because we don't have enough money for a boon. So there's one of the differences between this little challenge playthrough and like an actual speedrun where you would always take the mid shop in order to pause the clock.
Olympus, I accept this message.
All of these kind of suck. I don't even remember what I took. Okay, Controlled Bird makes sense. There are those spots in the Kronos fight where you use your Omega attacks while he's doing the instant death things, and you're just kind of standing around otherwise. So I think that's why I took it. I'm not really planning on using Omega attacks or Omega specials otherwise, just in those moments where you can't do anything else. And then we get Buried Treasure Rare once again. amazing,
The ocean's
just like the
fury.
first run, and this is turning out to be a really great start to our challenge with double meta progression for both our first runs. That'll really boost our ability to get strong quickly. And of course, getting strong in the underworld isn't as big of a deal because, to be honest, with the 2 Death Defiances, with Break a Rush, or like, sorry, with all of the extra damage we're getting from like the Arcana cards, we're not actually worried about losing any more to Chronos. But what we are kind of worried about is when we start hitting the surface. If we don't hit the surface with like origination and also ways to manipulate our boons, that makes the surface runs quite a bit more difficult. And I'm not nearly as good at the surface as I am on the underworld route, just because I haven't played it as much, and I certainly haven't played it low on resources. On my normal account, I hit the surface after having like unlocked every keepsake and have all the arcanas and everything. So I'm not used to playing on the surface with low resources. So we would like to not be low resource when we hit the surface. Alright, so we didn't get the best ones, but I take Extending Wallop just because in the Chronos fight, if I'm able to use Extending Wallop to kite some of his attacks, I think that's pretty worth. And here we get Break a Rush and Slippery Slope often. I don't actually know which... I took Break a Rush. Okay, then that makes sense. Slippery Slope there, though, is not a horrible pick. And in fact, might even be better. It's hard to say.
This should help.
And here we don't have to take any damage because we have Death Defiances. Although I think I do accidentally take damage. In fact, I think on this run, I once again get hit by the Sheep Curse. Get polymorphed. I'm not sure why these first 2 runs I randomly get polymorphed. I swear it doesn't happen often at all.
Look now upon the moon. Let's see you evade this.
Oh, yeah. There, they just missed the dash by a little bit.
Simple to evade them.
I harass this guy. Little witchy here. And then kill him with the tree. Get hit way too much, but it doesn't matter because now we have Arcana cards that will heal us between every room, so in fact I'm going to be pretty much full health in the next few rooms anyway. And that's Hecate.
Very good. Go on.
Oh, and we get the Nightmare because we turned on 1 heat. So I end up not really using the Nightmare. I mean, I do use it, but I never use the aspect that I upgrade with it. So there's really no point in doing this Nightmare stuff, but there's also not really a downside because the clock is irrelevant, essentially. I don't think I'm ever like in danger of running out of time.
Out of my way.
Here we get Eris as soon as possible. This is where she would normally show up if you don't take damage on purpose. But you see we get 20 Ash, which is pretty crazy. Half of what you get on like a normal run. Of course, it doesn't look too crazy in this run, or in these last 2 runs, because we've gotten Buried Treasure as well. So all of the rooms are giving us 9.
Acceptable.
Here, I should take the Ash. I think I end up taking the... No, I do take the Ash, okay. Yeah, sometimes you get tempted by the by the nectars, but actually the nectars are not worth it. I don't get the ability to switch keepsakes until like more than halfway through this playthrough. It just doesn't unlock very quickly, which means I can only ever use one keepsake at a time in a run, and it's going to be Skelly's tooth, just for safety. I don't want to accidentally die and have to restart, so I just keep the tooth on basically the whole time. Here we would love Poseidon, but we're going to have to take this room because Narcissus will give us meta progression materials. And Psyche is what we're needing the most right now, but the Ash is actually worth more in terms of raw material, and we'll soon start getting a lot of Psyche, so I decided to take the Ash just to maximize the amount of material that I get. Of course, the heal is completely useless,
Good find.
but that's okay.
Thanks.
Here I kind of start clearing out these little ones. Then I realize there's no reason to do that, so I just start hitting the mini-boss like I should have at the beginning. I guess I keep clearing them out. I guess they just annoy me. Maybe, I think on the run before this one that I had lost, I got hit by them a few times, and that annoyed me. So I had to take it out on them.
Your place is out at sea.
All right, Hot Pot is very nice, just giving us a little bit of dodge. Just makes things a little bit safer, a little easier. And here we get Aphrodite. We really want the special. The special or the gain. We get the gain, and that's just as good, because it opens us up to Afro-Poseidon duo boon, which is probably the thing we want the most besides Beach Ball. And we're not open to Beach Ball in this run because we haven't been offered Poseidon or Apollo. Island Getaway, that's what it's called. Yeah, Island Getaway is great for two reasons. If you have the gain, which you usually want with it, it just makes everything always weak, and gives them an extra minus 15 damage. So that's like minus 35 damage or something, which is just crazy. But also, if you get Afro on your special, which is probably the best special in the game for the staff, it just makes it work no matter what, right? They're always considered close to you, so you don't have to worry about like being the right distance away from them. And that just makes things a lot smoother. Here we would like this shop, but we don't have any money, so we just go for the boon. We put it on the special. That locks us out of Aphrodite, but I think getting freeze on the special is good enough. You get to kind of just not worry about the mechanics of the game and freeze everything in place. Also, this fight is really nice with our Demeter or our Artemis boon, since there is 3 of them, so we get to get a lot of critical hits in, actually. It keeps bouncing in between them. And you can see I'm trying my best to target the ones that have the mark on them. Here I abandoned the mark just because Roxy is standing still, so I want to be able to hit her while she's not teleporting around. Because hitting Scylla is not a problem at all. She's almost always stationary, just like the drummer. Here we have to endure a little bit of bullet hell. It's always fun. Skilla feature is probably the best feature, in my opinion. I find it the easiest to deal with. Maybe the drummer feature is equally as good, because her patterns are also pretty easy to avoid. Definitely the guitarist feature, which is the one you always get on the first run, is the hardest, in my opinion. It is pretty cool that this boss has not only 3 different sets of music, or 4, but also kind of 3 different versions of itself, depending on who gets featured in the second half. We take way too much damage, but that's okay. We don't lose a Death Defiance or anything, so we're not stressing at all.
That's quite enough of them. There it is. Out of here. Look for the markers.
That was a great door. Heart and also
Looking for several
a hammer.
points.
Some of the most high impact things you can get. And we get a little bit more ash. That's nice.
I can't.
You can see here the problem with Breaker Rush bouncing enemies away. Here I'm just looking around to see where what the layout is, even though it's the middle of the fight, but there's nothing around me, so.
Got you.
Using these little spike things is great. They do so much damage. Although you can see there it's kind of just missing the Lamia over and over.
Felt that.
Right. Looking around for the hammer. I don't know where it is because I haven't memorized these room layouts at all. I'm going backwards. Oh, actually, here what's happening is I'm looking to see if I've missed any minor rewards. Oh, but here's the hammer.
Come on out. Lamii. Point secured.
All of these are pretty bad. We don't want to use our Omegas, but if we're forced to, then Giga Moonburst is probably the most likely to do something, since we can use it in the Kronos fight when he's charging his large attacks and we're just standing next to him. Then we can charge a full Giga Moonburst like that. Alright, and we get a rare... we would have liked to see Aphrodite or Apollo on that door, but instead we get the Hestia, and that's totally fine. The thing we probably want the most is, what is it called? The one that makes you deal more damage to bosses, to enemies that are not near any other enemies. I'm blanking on the name of that boon. But that's just really good for Kronos, and a rare one is 18% damage or something. Around 20. Here I'm getting hit way too much, and getting cornered a little bit by all of this stuff. Mostly because of the Breaker Rush. So this is the one fight where you almost wish you didn't have Breaker Rush. Or at least I do. I'm not. I don't know what you're supposed to do to keep her in place.
I'll cast you out each time. And then
Glowing coal is also really nice. Being able to throw your cast at Kronos or at anyone really just makes the fights a lot easier. You don't have to weave in and out in order to get the cast damage.
Someone there. Someone there. Someone there. Someone there. I mean you no harm. I mean you no harm. That makes two.
Evade, evade, evade is exactly what we want. That is the best one. 50% evasion is crazy, and if you're able to not get hit until Kronos, you get to keep it all. We're gonna lose some of it, but not too much, I don't think. Yeah, every time you get in a dodge with evade evade, and it doesn't even have to be from evade evade. We also have that 5% from the Hestia dodge chance. Even if that procs, you still get 2% taken off the evade evade. So, you know, that's a little unfortunate, but you know, just don't get hit. I immediately get hit, but thankfully it didn't trigger a dodge, which is what we prefer. We would prefer to get hit and not trigger a dodge now, basically until Kronos. Unless we're losing a DD, which I guess we're a little close to doing. But soon I'll get that heart and it won't be a problem. You can see there I'm a little scared of the armored wolf. They just kind of jump really far, and I didn't want to... Because I couldn't see where he was, I didn't want to dash in to see him right when he starts jumping at me, because then I wouldn't be able to react to the jump. And I'm at 13 life, so kind of just kept it off screen and tried to hit it with my long-range stuff, which worked out. The magic boon is, again, very unfortunate as a reward. We never want to see that, basically. And here we get hit by this guy because, well, it's kind of hard not to when there's a billion things also trying to hit you from the other side. I think we lose a lot of dodge to this, and is what we lose the most dodge to. Besides, maybe even more than Kronos, actually.
Not a chance.
Oh, and again, these things, they strip you of your evades. So here I'm frantically trying to kill it before it gets me. This one as well. Because I really don't want them to hit me and take off my evades.
Protected.
We lost so much, we're at 38%. Every single needle can proc the evade. So what happened is we got hit by like 10 needles or something. Well, no, not 10. I guess we lost 12% evade, so that's 6. We got hit by like 6 needles, or 5, because we got hit by a regular attack too before. There's another dodge, and we lose our armor. Yeah, this room has not gone the best. I'm gonna be completely honest. But that's okay. We continue on. The money is nice, 175, because we have buried treasure. And here I'm just making sure we didn't leave any micro rewards lying around. Wouldn't want to miss out on some ash or bones. Not sure why I'm killing these guys. I could just run away from them. But I guess I decided it would be fun to hit them a couple times. And we're at the shop. In the shop, we're looking for Afro Poseidon boons. We get Demeter instead. We get the Demeter Hestia boon and also the Demeter Aphrodite duo. I think the Demeter Aphrodite duo is what we take because it's just flat 10%, which is quite good. It's only for weapon damage, but still. And we don't really have enough Scorch for Freezer Burn to really do much.
Calm yourself. to fix this.
That was kind of an unfortunate start with Cerberus. We had to avoid a lot, and we weren't able to do basically any DPS. I'm just using my Control Burn plus Omega Special Hammer in order to get a bit of extra damage in while we're not able to get in close. Ah, we get stripped of a dodge by a cheeky little bugger over there. Oh, another one. I have to go kill him before he gets more. Oh, I guess I killed him off screen. So now we're at like 32 of 8 or something. 37 with the hotpot. Which is still really good, we just don't want to lose any more. And we lose one more. I don't know why I was playing so far away. I should just be hugging behind him. I think I got a little bit mindless and wasn't really thinking. I think I forgot briefly that I had Break a Rush. Because I wasn't really using it. A little too focused on using the Omega Special, which really is not worth that at all. There I somehow target behind myself on accident, don't even send it toward him. Yeah, I'm not sure why I'm charging these Omega Specials. It's just not worth. I should just be break-a-rushing at him like in the first run. I think I'm just doing it for fun because I usually never get the Omega Special stuff. So, another dodge. This fight is a bit of a disaster, to be honest. I would prefer to, like, never get hit by Cerb at all. We have a lot of meta progression material, though.
Right.
Thank you, Buried Treasure. Holy moly.
Exclusive access to Charon's premium wares.
Tucked away.
Tucked away. Finally out of here.
Okay, we're at 26 of 8 of 8 of 8.
Out of the fields, at least.
A little embarrassing.
Okay, let's see if this works. Kronos awaits. Just a few chambers to the house.
Here, we would take Poseidon or Afro Dorboon. It's worth it for the extra 5% damage, so that we can try to get Island Getaway, which is minus 15% damage. And also, actually more than that, because it projects weak to every enemy. Here we get Dad. Dad Room is awesome, and one of the reasons that the second run is a lot easier than the first run is because you get to see Dad.
Are you?
The master.
I'll slay.
Not for the.
I'm sorry.
There, I skipped. That dialogue is kind of cool. Kind of sad I skipped it on this run, to be honest. But I'll stop skipping dad dialogue soon.
Regret this. Violet.
There is like a part of that where if you kill Kronos on the first night, you'll say like, you know, I'll slay him and not for the first. And then dad goes, not for the first, truly. Then you know the meaninglessness of that act. That's a cool little dialogue you get for eating a fresh file and then playing the second run. Maybe even some fresh file players haven't seen that dialogue because they don't ever go on to the second run.
You see? Tempai.
We got life tax from Dad, by the way, which is really nice. We are unfortunately forced to use a lot of it in the next room, since we were down like half our health. But that's okay. We still have 97 banked, so we're basically at, you know, 223, 222. Something like that. If I could do math, you know, we would know, but I can't, so we don't.
Lost it buzzing.
The little guys that teleport around make it hard to clear this room pretty quickly. But we love seeing armored, the big guys with the clubs. I always forget their names. These guys. We love seeing these guys. They have a huge weight on the enemy, so that means you get less enemies and much easier to clear the room. And this room is quite small. Not sure what happened there. I somehow started targeting behind myself and then caused me to start getting hit. We do get a Poseidon door boon, which is great. There's a pretty high chance of getting Island Getaway from here.
He's back, is he? Got you.
And we still don't have Slippery Slope, and we could also potentially get the Poseidon Legendary as well, which would be really good. I am losing a lot of my life tax on accident, but you know, that's what it's for. You get it to use it. I keep dodging into the projectiles for some reason. Here I again forget I have Breaker Rush apparently. Should be dash. Oh, I finally remembered. I was like, oh yeah, my highest DPS thing. Here we give Poseidon the Nectar. He is the god we want the most because he has Buried Treasure and Sea Star to get us more meta progression materials. But we won't really use this because I'm just going to keep Skelly on.
Hear me on my
We'll use it, just not for a while. But we want to start getting more and more keepsakes even before we're able to switch them out. Just so that for the first night when we can switch them out, we have our choice in a huge suite of variety. It's also just nice to get them and see them in the case. You know, it's satisfying. And watch out for the spear attacks. They apparently do 27. That's because my air is cursed at like 80 or something right now. I'm at 5 life tax. Beautiful. I wonder what my evade is now. I'm sure I look at it before I go into the boss. Alright, well we get 2 chances at the duo boon here. Not this one. Sweet Surrender though is 20 flat damage when we're close to Kronos, and that's great. And here we get Burning Desire, so no Island Getaway. That's unfortunate, but, you know, it is what it is.
River, take me.
We do want to kind of stay close to Kronos if possible, just for the sweet surrender. I don't know how it ends up, I don't remember.
Welcome, my girl. Your eyes do not deceive. I'm as hale and hearty as can be.
I was never
He's hale and hearty, that was the main point, and after that, we kind of get it, you know? Yeah, I promise you guys soon, I will stop skipping dialogue. It's just these first few runs, you know, if I like die here, then I have to listen to the dialogue again. But after like the third run, I'm like pretty sure I'm not dying. And I'm willing to listen to the dialogue. There I almost get hit, but... yeah, for some reason I'm like dashing a little bit randomly to the other direction. This has happened a couple times. And I wonder what I'm doing to do that. Just take out the ads while you can. Go take out the other ads. You don't like the ads. They randomly chuck those little daggers at you, and they do quite a lot of damage with Air's Curse. I think they do like 20 something. We're getting good crits.
Such ferocity.
Unfortunate hit by the scythe. There, we're able to break him out of it before he even shoots his projectile. Deserved dodge. Just take out these pillars when you can. It's not worth it to get hit like that for the pillars. But because the little ward can be so easily taken off. But, yeah. And here he's almost dead, so I just try to finish him off before he starts doing the triple attacks.
You do not.
You can see there, that's where the Omega special stuff works out, is like here. You can just charge them fully, hit him, get some damage in when you otherwise wouldn't be able to. Here too. Just gotta be mindful of the scythe attack, you kinda dodge it. I mean, wise words from Nazar, dodge the attack. Yeah guys, you gotta dodge the attack. I don't know if you thought about that.
It feels so empty here without my legions by my side. Learn your place.
You can see the Tempai if you don't take them out, like I haven't really taken them out very quickly, are healing the Titan, so that's Like, they're doing 50 a second or something. It's crazy. Finally, I'm able to get rid of them all. I'm close to losing my Death Defiance. Trying my best not to lose the Death Defiance, just so I, you know, could say that I could plausibly have won without them. But I lose it, so I guess not.
I think
All right, and that's the second run.
You waste your precious time. Olympus burns. Do not presume.
I literally did win, Kronos. I don't have to presume anything. There's a victory screen. See, it says victory. Okay, so Blessing of Strife was at 100. We got down to 20% evade, which is not bad, you know, it's not zero. That means we got hit 15 times in between getting it and... Well, sorry. That means we procced evade 15 times between getting it and Kronos. Or the end of Kronos.
Now the mirror. Night and darkness, guide me to my blood beyond the grasp of time.
I love the music in this room.
Just stay down. No. Oh, blast. Thought I... Oh. Just as I'm about to get my hair under control. Who are you and what have you done with my reflection? Only joking. I remembered everything just as you said. Particularly since you're here again so soon. Where were we?
I was trying to persuade you to take me at my word that I'm your sister from a future time in which the Titan Kronos has usurped the House of Hades. I mean to stop him and require your assistance.
I have a wide variety of questions first, even knowing that our time apparently is limited. First off, why me? Although I am the designated security specialist around here, so perhaps I know the answer to that one.
Some security specialist. Kronos caught the house entirely off guard. But you're my closest kin. You've subverted the will of the fates before and slain gods, if not titans. I also lack the means of reaching anybody else this way.
Well, great. I feel that strong kinship between us already. Next question. Where even is this Kronos, and what would you have me do if and when I locate him? A two-parter for you.
I don't know where Kronos is exactly in your time, though I do have a lead. His remains were scattered to the deepest pits of Tartarus, which means he's probably recovering below where you reside. As for what to do if you can locate him, nothing as yet. We'll get to that.
I hate to break it to you, Malinoi, but this isn't all that comprehensive a plan. Especially for something you've been planning all your life. Do I just wait for you to work through the details, or...?
No, look, you're a security specialist. Begin an investigation, though in absolute secrecy. Is anything amiss anywhere in the house or in Tartarus? Any unusual activity from satyrs, for example?
We've had our share of satyr problems, though not anywhere nearby. But I can have a look around. What about you? Wait, are you in my bedchambers?
What's left of them, yes. I can only reach you like this while we're in the same location across time. At any rate, I have to find the means for you to destroy the Titan there before he regains his full strength. But... blast.
What is it? Do you have to go again? Then don't wait up on my account. I'll see what I can do and speak to you when next you haunt my dreams. Take care, sister. We'll sort this out.
You make it sound so effortless. Farewell, brother. Until we see each other next. From mists of memory, return to Shadow now.
She's gone. It's only me again. Hey, when do I wake up?
All right,
Brother,
let's confide into Phrynos.
Can you believe it, little one? I did it. I got him. Now it's pretty solid haunting.
So that was the dialogue you would usually get on the first run.
Artemis.
Fancy running into you again. Hey, Malinoi, I just wrapped a debrief here with Sister
Hi, Artemis. Welcome.
I love Artemis's character
I
design.
hear you. Bye for now.
Alright, we get Knight's Craftwork. That will allow us to now start gathering silver once we open the pickaxe, and also
Has to be a way.
then once we have silver we can start
Reveal now your
getting
words
all the
within
other
the
ones.
silver pool.
You brought.
He doesn't know it.
Imagine
It shouldn't be possible. Nemesis, for
Oh,
put them back.
that's right.
But don't more. Odysseus out checking
Sure they
on
do.
reports. I mustn't speak.
Alright. Now we can start using the gold rewards, and we will get some Psyche, because that we sorely need Psyche in order to activate all of the stuff that we're about to unlock.
Headmistress lent me
So
the
we're going to
arcana.
beeline it to Origination, and we're going to put that on, I think. Or maybe we leave it off? I'm not sure what I do here. Yeah, I guess I leave it off for now until I get enough Psyche to put it on. It's not worth deactivating 3 other Arcanas for, I don't think.
Reveal to me the bounties of the earth. The arms of night.
I think I'm reconsidering whether or not I should deactivate something for Origination. I think I'm considering whether I should deactivate Death, but I decide that's not worth it. Yeah, Enchantress and also the Champions are what we want next. And then, of course, once we hit the surface, we can unlock the one in the corner that they surround, which will give us many more rerolls.
My keepsakes.
Yeah, I'm just contemplating whether or not I should deactivate the Death Defiances for Origination, but or maybe like Persistence, Furies, and the Omega. But I just decide it's not worth it.
You bear my trusty tooth. Hey, by the way.
I was able to.
Here we'll just put on some more time to get another Darkness.
Spreads. What was that?
Again, the time doesn't really matter. We're not in danger of losing via time. And we get our first 3 silver here.
Silver. Though she's deviated from her path. Great Titaness, the Eye of Night. I draw you down. Lend me your might. Good evening.
So we're forced to get the moon here.
Twilight curse.
It's not really that useful, to be honest. Although the polymorph one is the best one, I think. As it can help us get rid of the ads in the Kronos fight, and also can sometimes be used in our room clear. But really, we're not going to be using our magic enough to ever worry about our... Well, I don't know what they're called. I forget what they're called.
Some bones.
Right, we get Apollo. Apollo's cool because it can open us to Beach Ball. That's kind of the only reason it's cool. Otherwise, I would rather not see Apollo. So we do really want to get Beach Ball now. Hopefully we see Poseidon.
As expected.
Solar Ring or Strike? I guess I take Strike. It might be better to take Solar Ring there, honestly, because Apollo's attack isn't, like, the best. And we get Poseidon right away. So this is great. Okay, we're praying for buried treasure a 3rd time. We don't get it, but we do get Sea Star. Or Break a Rush. I guess I take Break a Rush. Here we'll take the Poseidon because we really want the Beach Ball. And we still want, like, Break a Rush and Sea Star. I should have taken Sea Star. I'm not sure why I took the Break a Rush. I guess I just wanted to open up all Apollo boons to be Beach Balls, potentially.
Olympus, I accept this message.
And here we take Tidal Ring. Tidal Ring is pretty good, high DPS actually. And Froth generation. Not that we have Origination yet. Soon. Here, I probably should have just taken the ash. Not sure why I took the shop, because I only have 93 gold.
We got him fine.
I think I wasn't paying attention very much. I'm going to tank some of the missiles. And we get a heart, which is very nice, and a moly. We need a lot of moly. A lot of the early incantations require moly, and we are going to run short, I think, a couple times. So we definitely want to make sure we grab all the moly we see. Here we get steady growth again, pretty early, very nice. We're hoping it hits our core boons. A hammer on the door against the shop, but we have no money, so we will take the hammer. Here, Rapid Thrasher is probably the pick. I don't know which one I take. It could be the Extending Wallop, just because it does work. Yeah, it does work with Apollo attack pretty well. They both increase range. So now my attack is like Omega ranged.
You surpassed me before.
Come, Headmistress.
Good for... Return to me, sisters.
Accidentally dodge into the attack. Okay, this time I don't think we get sheeped. And we're able to clear out a couple of the witches while running away from the sheep as well. Alright, we take a couple of hits, but nothing that the fountain was not going to fix. So, all in all, pretty good fight.
You heard
The Book of Shadows.
We get the Book of Shadows, which we will never open.
I predict.
You rabble-rousing miscreants.
Here Kronos comes and taunts us a little bit. Why not? He likes to do that. Alright, so we're hoping for more Poseidon. That is our #1 target. And of course, we want Ash.
No Eris, thanks the gods.
We get the no Eris dialogue because we saw her and then avoided her.
What the?
So starting night 3, the reason like we avoided her is because starting night 3 she only shows up after Oceanus. And then after 3 more nights she only shows up after Cerberus. So it's only the first 2 nights that you can get her before Oceanus.
In the name of Hades.
Here, these all really suck. I don't want Poseidon on my special, so I just take one of the other two, even though they're both kind of equally bad and useless. But we get the Narcissus door, great.
So like, yeah, just
Mine.
excuse me. To the front.
These shades.
I keep saying Narcissus. I know it's Narcissus. I'm not sure why I'm making that mistake. Okay, here the question is, should we take ash or money? We're not taking the bones. Sorry, ash or silver. And I end up taking the silver just because it'll let me unlock the other resource gathering material things as soon as possible.
Why are you glaring at me like that, little one?
This guy, I never fight anymore, and so I forget how he works and get hit like a lot. Pretty sure he hits me a lot at some point. And there's one. I guess he only hit me twice, but it felt like a lot while I was doing it.
Terrifying.
Snow barrier is nice, but the flourish is just a good thing to have, freezing opponents. I just take the flourish. Here, I guess I gather the limestone just not to forget it. You can see the freeze is really nice here, allowing me to use my Breaker Rush without moving the enemies everywhere.
Vitality.
I accidentally take this bone door, I think. I should have taken the ash, but... Although, it doesn't really matter because I have so much ash and not enough psyche at this point, so maybe the... Actually, I might have even taken the bones on purpose for that reason, now that I'm thinking about it. In preparation for buying psyche with the bones, which is what we're going to be doing. We're going to be taking ashes from doors and using our bones to buy all the psyche that we need, and also getting psyche from Eris in the next zone for the next 3 nights, including this one. Alright, we're at a healthy 150 already, which is very nice, and we have a bunch of money. Unfortunately, no Poseidon in the shop. We get some Demeter. All of these suck again. I don't even know what I take. I guess... I guess I take the game?
As for my Arcana.
Probably a mistake. We probably want to keep the gain open for Aphrodite if possible, so... Probably should have taken one of the other ones. Maybe I was thinking, like... This will let me at least guarantee a gain in case I don't see Aphrodite, but... Here I take a bunch of damage to the Scream on accident. Yeah, it's pretty hard to dodge the Scream when you're getting up and close with Breaker Rush at the beginning. Here they group up, which is very nice. Allows me to attack Roxy and also the drummer. Or, sorry. And also the... Jetty is the guitarist. I want to remember to keep someone in my cast at all times so that I get the extra damage from my Arcana. 20% extra damage, which is quite a bit. Yeah, here I'm trying to use the Breaker Rush while not getting hit by the Scream. I'm succeeding. That's good. Alright. And there's Skilla and the Sirens. The Sirens vanquished.
Blasted catch.
And we get our Nightmare.
Testament enacted. First tunnel to my right. For night.
Alright, so now we see Eris at the beginning of the morning fields.
Hey, hey. Oh no. You again. What? Are you concerned my task just isn't difficult enough? Going a bit...
Actually, yes. I was a little worried about that. You got past the
What next? You'll
sirens.
kill Kronos? Well, sorry to say, Strife. I have already killed
slow me
Kronos
down.
twice. Yeah, some of the dialogue doesn't make sense if you progress too quickly. There was dialogue that we skipped from Hecate that, like, taught us the incantation we were supposed to say when we see the mirror. And she's like, maybe soon you'll be able to use it in the real place, but, like, we'd already used it in the real place the night before. So, part of the reason why I skipped that dialogue as well. Soon I will stop skipping dialogue, I promise you.
It's cleared up.
Okay, dual moonshot is probably the best hammer we can get. Just, you know, doubling your Omega specials, doubling your regular specials even, is pretty great. The minus range, you know, is bad, but it's not that bad. You just get a bit closer, especially with Breaker Rush, you're going to be close anyway. You can see here our damage is extraordinary now. All right, and we get rare Poseidon boon. That's great. Hopefully it's Beach Ball. That's what we're hoping for. It's a bit too late for Sea Star, and we would still take a buried treasure, but obviously it's, you know, we're not going to get much value out of it. You still do get the 100 bones that you just get from picking up the boon, and that's honestly just worth taking it. And we got the rarefied Breaker Rush from our steady growth, which is about the best thing we could have hit. Oh, we get Beach Ball, and we actually got 3 really good options there. Buried Treasure, Beach Ball, and Natural Selection, all of which are amazing, but Beach Ball is just unequivocally triple S tier, the best boon, best duo boon that you can get early.
Well, I can sense. I am.
And one more time we get lucky and get Evade, Evade, Evade. Exactly what we want. More Apollo Poseidon. Don't mind if I do. And there's a heart there, which is actually a big reason why I took it as well. If I was being super optimal, I wouldn't have picked up that money before the Poseidon boon, just in case I get Sea Star or Buried Treasure, which would, you know, slightly increase the amount of money I get. But, you know, I didn't want to have to go back. We do get Buried Treasure and Sea Star. I'm not sure which one we take. Sea Star, okay.
Now.
You can touch the door to make it tell you where the next boon is.
I've drawn them out.
I will say, the darkness mechanic, while cool, is not my favorite. There I tank a dodge, just because you just always can dash in on the wrong time when they're about to attack, And you can't really see or react because, well, all your vision is gone. We need to go kill this guy before he can suck all our evades away. And we do. This run, I will not lose nearly as many evades before Kronos. We don't get the C-Star proc there. Very unfortunate. We're hoping it'll double this heart for us. Not that we need it, we're already at like 150 anyway. But of course, more health is always better. But no doubling there. It is a common C-Star, so only 25% chance. Nothing on the free door, so we take the shot. And we get Poseidon offered again. We're really hoping for the... Oh, and we get Buried Treasure after C-Star, which means we can double some of the C-Star offerings, just like that. So, we are live for the Poseidon Legendary, so we will still take every Poseidon thing we can, just to get that Legendary, which actually increases your DPS a lot. Against specifically bosses, obviously. If I recall correctly, I think we get a perfect fight here. Able to just hug him and do a bunch of DPS while he's standing around, shaking off the evil spirits. Here you just gotta be careful about these little projectiles that he throws out because they will explode. They're like proximity mines. They will explode if you get close to them, so you can't like dodge into them or through them while they're out. You just have to kind of avoid them. Like that, see? It immediately went off because I was too close to it. Thankfully we were not hit. And we love when he does the fire, because we can just kill him while he's... Like, it's such a bad move. You can't do anything if you get behind him.
Whether he fought.
You're free again, for now.
As you can see, the runs are getting shorter because we have more DPS. 12-minute Tartarus instead of the, like, 15-minute or what we did in the first run. So that's nice.
Unseen. The lowest reaches. They'll know I'm here.
It seems we have an unscheduled.
Once again, we are only taking doors that have either Poseidon or probably Demeter, because Demeter also... We got offered that natural selection, which I find makes it more likely that it'll show up again, I think. And we would like natural selection. It will give us a lot of palms on our damage sources. We're doing a good job of not getting hit by anything. I think my evade is still like at full, or not at full, but like at 48% or something, 46 maybe. Here I'm just not gonna go in there because there's too many projectiles running around and I don't want to get any evade stripped off of me. There's that... Oh no, that's the 3. I missed the 4 again. We love to see the big guys. Always the best thing to see. And they're much easier to kill with Breaker Rush because they don't move around as much since they're heavier. The Bowsers of Hades 2. Easier to combo.
Best not stay any longer than I must.
Tenpai are like Fox, just like floats away.
What?
Who goes? Such a cacophony occurs.
Perhaps they were concerned for their master.
Blood and darkness.
Not on my own at all.
Ye shall seek vengeance.
Okay, Gigaros Dash and Deep Descent are both great. I take the Gigaros Dash just to have a bit more damage and kill Kronos quicker. But Deep Descent is also amazing because the ads are really one of the worst parts of the Kronos fight, having to deal with the Tenpai in Phase 2 specifically. But even in Phase 1, the satyrs will throw those little knives at you and it can make it hard to focus on Kronos. So just having half as many of them spawn is really great. I would say probably the best offerings from Dad are Gigaros Dash is probably #1 just because of the DPS. The legendary, the Unseen Ire, is also really good. 70% damage after you get hit. Sometimes you just kind of want to get hit on purpose to get that extra damage. But then also Life Tax, Deep Descent, and the one that makes your cast throwable. If you don't already have a throw cast, like Glowing Coal or the Zeus one, which we can't get yet. If you don't have those, then you really want... And Hades one is the best. It does the most damage, it does like 200 flat damage, and it makes the cast follow Hades around. Or not Hades, Kronos, or whoever's got hit by it. Makes the cast follow them around, which is great. Alright, we get natural selection, exactly what we wanted. And as you can see, now we have like 3 or 4 palms on all of our core boons, which is amazing. Yeah, having the cast follow Kronos around is really great when you have like Apollo cast, or just to be able to keep the 20% damage on him from your Arcana. Because sometimes he'll just move out of the cast and then you're no longer getting that benefit, obviously. But the extra damage you get from the Gigaros Dash just can't be beat, I think. It's the most consistent. Cool, we'll take the extra health just to be more tanky. We'll take the Apollo boon. Nothing really good here. I guess Dazzling Display, we have no source of days yet, so that gives us a little bit of evasion. And we'll palm the Breaker Rush, or I guess the title. I don't know if that was the right one to take, but either way, it doesn't matter much. They're both already quite palmed, and they do have diminishing returns.
Come all this way again. You saw your father out there.
You couch it in morality when vengeance is reason enough. Though since you've reasoned it all out, by what right did you take the other members of my family? And Nyx and all the rest?
Why? Because they opposed me. Except you have this rather vexing knack for resisting some of my time-honored techniques. A recessive family trait, perhaps. Although you're...
Well, I let most of it play that time. Only cut it off a little bit. Yeah, see there, I feel like I thought that it would go in front of him and not behind him because of his animation. And I think that it just follows you, it doesn't matter what his animation is. Maybe that's wrong. Someone tell me, please, if you know.
Forces are as numerous as grains of sand.
There, I should be like getting closer to Kronos more. I guess I'm playing a little scared still. As we get more and more meta progression stuff and unlock more and more arcanas, I will become less and less scared and essentially just stay on top of Kronos permanently, never like doing any of this ranged stuff that I'm doing now. Especially when I switch to Liminoros, which I will do as soon as possible. The staff is nice, but first of all, I'm getting a little bored of it. I've been running Fresh File a lot, and which forces you to do the staff. And also, I just really like Liminoros. I know it's considered bad. A lot of the speedrunners have it at like D tier, you know? I think Boded did a tier list, had it at D tier. I think also Halion and some of the speedrunning people in the Discord. So it's not a good weapon, but I find it, I don't know, easier, somehow more satisfying. It's also on the cover art, and you know, it's like the canonical weapon for Malenoid, so you gotta use it. So I definitely switched to Liminoros, the daggers, as soon as they're open, and that will force me to stop doing all this ranged stuff. Which is honestly, like, you know, less boring. So here you gotta try to time it so that you dodge both his attack and also the circle. When you do too much damage like this, he will phase, like, you know, mid-attack, which will sometimes cause the game to be harder as you have, like, phase transitions and his attack to deal with at the same time. Or, like, multiple... You can even phase him while multiple transitions play out. So, like, the previous phase transition and the next one both at the same time, which is quite challenging. I've had that happen a few times, and it's always a little unexpected. The first time that ever happened, I was like, what is happening? I forget I have a Hex. I haven't used my Hex this whole time. But it doesn't really do anything to Kronos anyway, so... Here I should just, like, continuously attack him. I have 2 Death Defiances and he's really low. I'm not sure why I'm running away.
This victory of yours shall be short-lived. How is this possible?
Alright, another successful run. We're getting closer to being able to use our bones. I think it's after this run we can use bones. I'm not... Yeah, we'll see. I'm pretty sure. We can unlock the merchant now.
All right, brother. To the abyss of the subconscious I descend. It worked. Night and darkness guide me to my blood beyond the grasp of time.
She looks a bit like Mother, doesn't she? Which means... Oh, blast. I never... Ah. Hi there, Melenui. My investigation into our grandfather's scheming has begun, though difficult to make good progress without telling anybody what I'm up to. Don't take this the wrong way, but this truly is your only idea.
Yes, I don't think I can stop Kronos here. Even Olympus is stuck trying to keep his forces at bay. And he's far too hateful and hard-headed to stop on his own.
That's our family for you. Father certainly has no love for Kronos, but he never speaks of him. Do you happen to know what went over between them to have made things this bad?
You're in a better position to ask our father about that than I am. Kronos was a tyrant, and his children wouldn't have it. The Fates themselves deemed that the gods should rule. But that apparently wasn't enough for him.
So now you want me to stop them for you? I mean, for us. I've had mixed experiences vanquishing certain members of our family before, but that wasn't forever. And you've said next to nothing about how you expect me to do it.
Look, I have knowledge of an incantation known as Dissolution of Time. It requires several complicated steps I shall explain along the way. If it works, it should unravel him.
Unravel him? That's a little vague for me, unless Kronos turns out to be a spool of yarn. Can you be more specific?
Unmake him. Destroy his ambitions along with him. Undo all the harm he caused. A threefold family bond is required. You, me, and Kronos. Then we shall infuse a special weapon with the negation of his very being. I'll get into that later.
Well, great. I think you cleared everything up. Though I'll admit I don't like having to kill our family members just because Father doesn't know how to get along with them.
You would blame Father in all this? Blast. Kronos is starting to revive. I have to go. Keep searching for any sign of him. And remember, this is for all of us.
I will, and I understand, I think. We didn't ask to be born into this, but it's what we got. We'll handle it as best we can.
That's right. Thank you, brother. Take care of yourself. And be kind to Mother, Father, Cerberus, and all for me. From mists of memory, return to Shadow now. How long has it been?
3, 2, 1.
It is the dead of night within a haunted, barely moonlit thicket at the underworld's edge. There, a young forsaken princess hunts her prey.
Ready or not, hence I go. I bid you farewell for now, Lord Hypnos.
The key...
Shush, Homer. How shall I ever...
I've no idea.
Quit teasing me and help me look. Hi, kitties.
You'll find her yet.
Odysseus, have you seen Hecate about?
Not in a little while, little goddess. Though I'd expect that pointy hat of hers to give her away.
I'll look for it. Thank you. There.
She's got to be around here somewhere, little goddess.
Got you, Hecate. You're dead.
Got me, you did, Millennium. But I dare say I can escape your clutches yet.
Hey! Oh! Can't hide from me. Over there. There you are. Got you again.
Ah, so persistent. Give up already, witch. For I'm a titaness. You cannot vanquish me.
I can and shall. Aha. I got you. Hecate? What's the matter?
It's merely that I've not heard your laughter before. Reminded me of your mother. A much preferable sound to that of grief.
I promise not to cry again. I still get sad sometimes, but not as much.
Do not make promises you cannot keep. When tears well up, let them spill forth. They're not so precious that they need be contained.
But you never...
And I shall do everything in my power to prepare you.
What do you mean you failed? You tried to beat Kronos yourself? He hurt you?
Concern yourself with your own pain, not mine. Destroying Kronos shall not change the past, and the pain shall linger, though assert itself less frequently with age. But enough of this. On the morrow, we shall teach you to hunt greater prey.
Truly?
To hell and back. The heavens next. You knew I could do it, didn't you, Phrynos? You there, Dora?
So, we'll talk to Hecate a little bit here.
Those sands that you recovered from our enemy, there's something of his nature in each tiny grain, a key of sorts, to the dissolution of time.
I do. That there...
'Tis merely evident.
Okay, here we're going to have to do a lot of meta progression stuff.
Last night I dreamt of
So we want all three of these. Summoning Merchant is the best one. This will now allow us to use our bones to get Psyche, which we sorely need, because we're going to be able to unlock Origination and something else.
Broker, welcome to the crossroads.
The Fated List is going to
Daughters of night.
this is not going to work this time, but it'll be there when we come back.
Both our family's sorrows.
And then the reagent sensing is just very nice to be reminded of when there's something in the area you need to pick up. Because sometimes I will just forget to pick it up.
A moment, goddess. Word has it Eris has been...
She's trying to stop me.
She
Yeah,
doesn't
Eris is trying to stop me. Odysseus is on our side. Nemesis doesn't like us.
Maybe you just don't give your
Not sure why.
You mustn't speak of them that. Yes, my lord. I met Apollo. New shipment there.
Alright, so we get 80 Psyche from that, which is amazing. We want more Psyche from it. We're not going to use the one for Ash, since we can get Ash much more reliably from doors anyway. We'll just save it up for more Psyche next time. Checking if Eris is there. She's not. I don't know why I checked. She can't show up this early. Talking to Hypnos a little bit. Okay. We can raise our grasp 3 times here, or almost. We'll have to go and get more Psyche, and then we can raise it even more because we have a lot of bones in reserve. So we're going to save our Ash for that for the champions for next time. We're just exiting here to go get more grasp from the broker.
After ever.
You shades are welcome here and safe.
60, and I think the next one is 100, so it's 160 that we need here. That pause was me doing the math.
Where are you, headmistress?
And the next one is 120, which we do not have enough to do. But we get to now activate Origination and the Enchantress. We get 1 reroll on the doors, which is actually great, but the big thing is Origination here. 25% flat damage as long as we have 2 curses applied. Definitely like the best Arcana that you can have, especially when you upgrade it to the full 50%. Here I'm thinking about like what I can do with the measly bones I have, and I just don't have enough for anything. Don't really want to spend it on Ash. I'm getting enough Ash from other stuff, and we've already basically unlocked everything we need in the short term, just the champions, and then we'll be basically done for a bit until we can get much more Psyche. So I'm just converting some of it into Psyche, seeing how much I'm going to need to get to 120 in the next run. And we'll head out. Okay, so here I have some choices. I have a limited amount of silver. I could spend it all in the spade, but I don't think that's worth it because we would want Psyche from our tablet anyway. So this tablet will give us more Psyche, which will allow us to activate even more cards. We want that as fast as possible. And here, that allows us to open up with Lim and Oros. And we're fellow sisters now. I'm not going to buy Umbral Blades or the Axe for a bit because I'm just not going to use them. In some of the early tries to do this challenge, I did use like every weapon, and then I would just randomly die with like the torches or with the axe because I don't really use them as much. I'm not as familiar with them, especially on low resources, and I decided I'm just going to use Lim and Oros and the staff obviously when I need to, and not worry about showcasing all of the weapons. You guys can play those weapons yourselves if you want. We get a nightmare for opening with Lim and Oros if we just do 1 fear. So we get to lower our fear back down. There's really no difference between the timers at all. So, all right, run 4, here we go. We're much stronger now. This run, and you will see, yeah, you'll see how much stronger we are. The special is actually pretty great.
The might of Olympus.
Because it's epic. I mean, if it was a common, it would be horrible. But as an epic, it's like pretty good. 100% is a lot. The palm is not what we want to see, but because we already have a core boon, it's not the worst. We get a little bit more damage off our special now. We still want Poseidon, not necessarily because of Beach Ball, although Beach Ball is great, but actually just Poseidon attack on the Liminoros is really good. Poseidon and Hestia are the two attacks we want the most. Because it hits a lot, so applying a bunch of Scorch obviously is great, but also the Wave Strikes, even though it's less damage than the Scorch is overall, does it more upfront. You can apply Froth with it, which will make it do even more damage. And also we still want Sea Star, we still want Buried Treasure, we still want as many bones and everything as possible. Here, this is interesting. I would like to go to Arachne, but I would also like the Scorch on my attacks. So I kind of contemplated there, because we could have gotten maybe like an epic attack. I chose Arachne.
Oh, what are you doing here? Besides tramping all over my webs, that is. Oh, it's nothing silly. I can always make more perfectly good silk. Truly. Do you like it?
Why, this is beautiful, thank you.
To your success.
Okay, there's something weird. I'm not sure what is going on with the audio right now. I don't know if that's in the video or if that's something that's happening with my headphones. It's like stuttering. Hopefully that's not in the recording, because I'm not sure how I'm going to fix that. If it's in the recording, you might not have heard it. I might have cut the audio, because it was quite bad. I'll try to keep this dress as long as possible, but, you know, I don't have any guarantee of that. We'll take Break a Rush. Still think I should be taking Sea Star there, just for the more meta progression materials. I guess I'm taking Break a Rush to be safe. And, you know, that's fine. And we'll palm the Break a Rush.
Excellent stuff.
And we get our first Tablet of Peace proc.
Let me help you. See you in the crossroads.
So now that we have Origination, we really want more curses. We really want, like, Poseidon for Slippery Slope. We really want Hestia for Burn on our attack, preferably, if we don't get the Wave Strike. And then, of course, Apollo for Daze is not horrible. We can get Daze off of either Dazzling Display or the cast. Here we get Beach Ball, we'll just take that.
The light of the sun.
Here I'm just kind of not really using my attacks because they're not empowered, so.
Bones for the broker.
And we'll take the free hammer. Alright, these are all pretty great, but Trick Knives is unequivocally, like, the best. Definitely for Liminoros, but maybe the best in the game.
I've told my brother of what Kronos has done, but he expressed reluctance about having to destroy a member of our family. He even suggested father may be partly to blame.
A complication. Your brother never was keen on taking direction, especially from your father. And now he's filling your own head with doubt. We have no recourse here, Malinue. Persuade him or all shall be for naught.
He also asked me what exactly happened between Kronos and my father, and I realized I didn't know. Does anyone? This war he's waged, it isn't merely over who should rule.
Their precise history is of no bearing to our present state. In war, one would be wise to not give undue credit to one's enemies. If you spend all your time so deep in thought, then you shall hesitate to act, and your moment shall
Yeah, Hecate's like, no mercy for Kronos. Don't even think about that. And, yeah, it's hard to say she's wrong. He has imprisoned your entire family and threatened the entire world, you know. I get it. Honestly, not sure why Zag is so against killing the Kronos. Here, I take a bit of damage to my dress to avoid the sheepify. Unfortunately, I don't think we're going to be able to keep this dress very long, but we'll have a dress run shortly. At some point, we'll get it all the way to Kronos.
impressive show.
Victory.
Lucky Tooth rare. Now it's at full, so it's 105 or something. 101, I don't know. 100 and something HP after losing it,
My reagent sensing
which is pretty great.
took effect. Good. That briny smell. Eris didn't show at least.
So we had an Ash on that door, but we're gonna start prioritizing Bones now because we want more Psyche, and because soon we're gonna be wanting Moon Dust in order to upgrade the Arcanas that we've already unlocked. So I'm gonna start taking Bones every time I see them. Here, I'm going to use my one reroll to get rid of the Hex because I hate Hexes. I'm a Hex hater.
Those spiders get around.
Sorry. Not sorry. Yeah, we get some limestone, that's nice. And now we are ready for the Narcissus.
Yeah, looking good, man. Well,
Narcissus
one rule,
and
that's
all
look,
of
but
these...
Don't touch, okay? In fact,
Sorry, I'll let this play
why
out.
don't you stand a little farther back? And also tell me how come you keep showing up like this?
I've some affairs to settle in the lower reaches of the underworld. Thought I'd take this rather scenic route.
Oh, it isn't my chamber. I just find the waters here particularly clean and reflective. And far fewer would-be suitors than an asphodel. Remember to take a gift before you go.
The art in this game is really beautiful. We'll take more silver because we want to unlock the spade as soon as possible.
You ought to have stayed below.
Alright, we should be able to take this guy out very quickly. We don't have anything on our attack, which really has made this run a lot slower than it should be, but that's okay. Now we finally get Wave Strike, but I take Sea Star instead of it. And we're going to take the shop. I would take the bones, but we're going to take a shop.
In the name of Hades.
Purple Tidal Ring is very nice. We like that. Gives us Froth. And we're hoping for the attack here from Hestia. That is the best thing we could get.
Water spouts activated.
Yeah, Trick Knives are kind of broken. 3 specials for free for every dash attack is just insane. And I'm going to gift to Hestia because Hestia is like very good on Liminoros. So definitely one of the gods we want to be able to invoke when possible, once we get the keepsakes. And we do get the attack. It's just common, but that's okay.
Jump.
It's still pretty great. We also now do have Origination online with no problems. As long as we can get the cast on our enemies. It would be nice to get, like, Aphrodite gain, just to have weak on everyone. And then it would be much easier to keep our origination. Alright, Scalding Vapor is not bad. The Snuff Candle is also nice, and there might be an argument that it's better, so I'm not sure.
He'll be back any evening now, I'm sure.
But it was a common Snuff Candle, so definitely probably not worth it. Definitely probably.
You're just in time for our set. Been working on a song called I Am Gonna Claw Out Your Eyes Then Drown You to Death. Comes from a real person.
A little bit of Psychopath.
Is it any better than the one I heard on my way in?
No, it's not, because all our songs are the best. Each like a perfect little child. Not a bad one, like you.
They all grouped up, so that's really great. Scylla's back block is pretty annoying with Liminoros. I will say that. We love having them grouped up like this, though. Seven armor on my dress. Not ideal. I will say that. Wish I had more armor.
Show's over. The testament of night.
But I do love that the dress, you can see it, right? I'm wearing green instead of like this saffron color. But the one thing that I wish the game had done, although I understand it would have been a lot more art, is I wish that when you had the dress on, you would see her in the green dress or whatever color dress you're in the cutscenes. Because in the cutscenes, she's still wearing her saffron dress.
Hello,
Like that,
does
see?
another curse on me, Eris?
Be cool if this was green.
For all your idiosyncrasies, I never took you for a traitor.
I'm not, I swear. It's just, you'll never understand. I wanted this to be a special
I love
moment.
Eris's character
You had to
design.
go and ruin it. My work here is done.
I don't appreciate
And I
this,
love 50 Psyche. Hell yeah. We have 130. That is enough to get the next Grasp upgrade. But of course, we will want more than that. Much, much more. And I am very excited for when we can get the incantation to no longer have to bumble around and guess where everything is in these gigantic
Now for
rooms.
what's mine.
For now, we'll have to go back to the door sometimes and try to figure out where the next stuff is. I would like glowing coal, because then it would be easier to keep origination on our enemies, since we can throw the cast. And the cast is part of the way that we're getting origination, because Poseidon cast puts froth on our enemies. Okay, C-Star. No, it didn't work. Did not work. Alright. Reaper Knives or Wicked Onslaught. I take the Reaper Knives. It just works really well with our
I think I'm
Trick
finished.
Knives. Ooh, and we get a rare Aphrodite boon. So this could be where we get the gain. Unfortunately, I lose my dress. I was too excited to kill the Lamia and dashed into one of her red beams. That was the only hit I took too, was the one that broke my dress.
Glass rock.
So besides whatever innate satisfaction there may be in beating up that nasty old titan, is there a grander plan in all of this for what we're going to do?
Yeah, Aphrodite is pretty hot. All right, well, we got the gain. That's exactly what we wanted. Now we are still open to island getaway if we can get lucky enough. But either way, this will make origination almost always on.
Right, Echo. I don't know how come you've been assisting me, but I'm a long way from home and could use all the help I can get going farther.
Help going farther, going farther.
First time, no evade, evade, evade. That's okay. We can't get uber lucky every time. I think I go for boon, boon, boon just because there's a chance to get some good stuff like natural selection, for example. Very cool. So we just got like 12 palms or more, 16 palms or something, 20. I don't know. I don't know how many it gives you. A good amount. Enough. No reason to pick up that health right now. I'll just leave it there, and if I lose a lot of health, I can go pick it up later.
In the name of Hades.
Buried treasure, we always want it, even this late. That's 150 bones right there. And more bones here. Not to mention that it gives you money. That is useful.
Nami eye.
Sweet Surrender is probably what I should take, but I take Spiritual Affirmation. Just because I like big number on my health. I can't resist having like 300 health. And I thought like, well, I have Sea Star, you know, there's a health boon right here. Like, if this heart gets doubled, I'm already at 250. It does not get doubled. But still.
I can't revive this yet. Olympus, I accept this message.
And Ocean Swell is just something that happens that, you know, it can be useful. No reason to palm the Sea Star. I'll just palm the Ocean Swell.
In we go. Moonlight guide you, my lord.
And you gotta salute the people once in a while. Alright, Cerberus. Unfortunately, I think this fight is not gonna go very well for you. Now that I have Origination, Cerberus should essentially die in like a few seconds. You can see he's almost phased already.
You get out of here.
Now, if you don't know, the way you know if Origination, that extra 25% damage is being triggered, is that you see the little like icon right next to Infernal Cerberus at the top, next to the health bar. There's that little gold shiny icon. That means that it's active.
You shades, leave him alone.
You don't have to like guess. Yeah.
Relieved at last of an infernal itchy spot.
Once again, our runs are getting faster and faster. So 10 minutes to Tartarus this time. Not bad.
You're looking better already. Almost there. An old pool of purging. Unseen.
Unfortunately, we never really get to use the Pool of Purging. I do unlock it like 2 runs before the end of this, but it never becomes useful. Maybe it's even 1 run before the end, I'm not sure. We will unfortunately not be able to unlock almost like most of the incantations. Like most of the game mechanics will take more than 20 runs or whatever to unlock, so we're just not going to see a lot of them. But all the most important big impact things we will be able to unlock.
More coming.
It is funny that you can just beat the game without unlocking like the majority of the content. But I guess that's just how it is with many games.
Worth taking the longer route.
We always take Dad. Always.
Cerberus.
The infernal
Try to pet Cerberus. Cerberus refuses. Bad dog.
Shadow I serve.
What are you doing here again? I told you you cannot be here.
And I told you I'd be back for you. Though my priority is Kronos. You vanquished him before. Can you reveal to me any weaknesses? Any...
I vanquished him with the aid of 5 other gods. What?
Then it seems we are equally matched. Father, how long have you been this way? Is there aught I can do?
You think I have any sense of time in such a place?
Unseen Ire, Deep Descent, Gigaros Dash. Arguably the 3 best ones. I take Unseen Ire. I will try to... not try. I will take different dad boons, different Hades boons every single time, because that is one of the Fatedless prophecies that is easiest to achieve in this challenge, with only the 20 runs that I get. And it gives us quite a bit of resources, so I will take even unoptimal, like bad options, just to cross them off the fated list, which we will shortly see. But Unseen Ire itself is quite good. And I might as well take this boon room. Although this bag is the bane of my runs. I actually have lost this bag while attempting these things, like almost more than Kronos. I don't know if that's actually true, but I swear I lose this bag all the time. Just because it's like hard to avoid the big coins, especially when you're taking like double damage from Eris Curse. Usually it's like when I have like full Eris Curse, like right now. Or I guess right now I don't have full Eris Curse because we got her in Morning Fields, but like on the second run, if you run into the bag with full Eris Curse, it's actually not that hard to lose if you don't pay much attention, you know? Like, we just took 22 from the little spirally things, which is quite a lot. There, I get caught in the Tempai bubble, but it's not a big deal. I only get hit a little bit. And I took the money room just because I want to be able to spend 1,000 gold and get the reward card. And here I think I even buy the reward card. Yes, I do. Because I really want to be able to get as much things as possible, meta progression materials as possible. And here we can either take Extra Dose or Perfect Image. Took Perfect Image, which is probably the correct pick. Although Extra Dose is also quite good with Scorch on your attack, for sure.
You dare return with all that vengeance on your mind, claiming to care nothing for the family which I denied you. Good, because you certainly did not miss much. They cared nothing for our family either. Left me to rot. You are no different.
You alone care deeply for our family, is that it? Come on, they left you to rot because you gave them every reason to hate you.
They sought power I refused to share. They had not worked for it. Perhaps if they asked nicely, none of this...
Yeah, they just had to ask nicely. I mean, never mind that he, like, ate his children. You know, never mind that. I guess they didn't ask nicely to not be eaten. Well, that's fair enough. Like, if you're the first beings in existence, you might not know that being eaten is, like, a bad thing, you know? How is Kronos supposed to know that Zeus doesn't like getting eaten? Was it Zeus that he ate, or Poseidon? Or was it Hades? I'm not sure. I forget the story. I definitely ate one of them. And you can see that, like, the Scorch buildup is pretty crazy. You can get up to, like, 500 within a few seconds. Lose my perfect image trying to get some extra damage while he summons his balls. I got hit in the face with his balls, unfortunately. It was not too bad.
Then is it? 3, 2, 1.
Here, I choose to just stay on him because I have Death Defiances and I actually have so much damage. I thought I might be able to phase him before he does the ultimate attack, which I didn't. I was able to just dodge it. But even if I hadn't dodged it, I would have just tanked one of the Death Defiances and it wouldn't have been a problem. You can already see he's like almost dead. That's how much damage difference having just Origination is. Here I could have gone for him again, but unfortunately I was a little bit further away from like when he started, so I didn't think I would be able to phase him in time. And here I can just kill him before he gets the attack off. Or not, and then just lose a Death Defiance.
Some family you are. Go on and try to cast me out as they once did. See what good shall come of it.
I intend to. Though if you wished to be part of the family so much, perhaps you wouldn't have waged war with them.
With them, you say? Not us. You too are a reject daughter of Hades. Always shall be. And always would have been.
Damn. That's kind of fucked up, honestly, to tell him, but whatever. You do you, Kim.
In the name
128 damage from Kronos. That is with like a 85% on Blessing of Strife, so we got hit a few times. But mostly because we were just like hugging him. And of course, Trick Knives is one of the MVPs for sure. Alright, great 5th run, or 4th, whichever.
So much.
Yeah,
dust.
4th, and now we're on to the 5th. Alright, so I'm going to end it here. You can see me quit out in this room because this lets you know that I'm not, like, undoing. You can't do the undo option from here. But if I had, like, gone through and done the rest, I would have had the chance to do the undo button. So I'm quitting here because in real life when I was playing, this was like the 3.5 hour mark, and I had to, or maybe even 4 hours or something. I had to go to the bathroom and eat and stuff, so I quit here, and the next recording picks up from here, and that's where I'm going to start with the second video. So I'll see you then. That'll be our 5th run of the challenge, and I hope you guys enjoyed this beginning of the challenge and the first 4 runs. I'll see you guys next week when I post the next video. Thank you very much.